Welcome back, guys, to Ace Attorney Investigations 2, Prosecutors Gambit, where last episode, after engaging in some mind chess with Larry Butts of all people to find out anything he was hiding, we headed into the autumn wing now that the gas had cleared to find it had been made to look like the winter wing, before Gavel and Winner arrived on the scene. An argument then began as we heard Winner's winning deduction in which he painted Larry as the suspect due to the paint on his person. But we managed to turn this around with reason as they now move on to a new suspect, Delicia Scone. They sure are taking their time. I thought this was supposed to be a 10-minute recess. Sorry to keep you losers waiting. But wait no longer. I won the race to find Delicia Scone and here she is. Hello, dears. This lovely young man said you wanted to speak to me. Delicia Scone, purveyor of the most wondrous wares a pharmacist can offer at your service. Delicia to my pals, and even Miss Delicious to some. You can call me the Winner, and I'll call you whatever I want. All right, Winnie Pooh, whatever you say. It's lovely to meet you, dearie. So much for call me the Winner. Oh, have we met before, young man? Hey, get a load of this, Delicia. That's Miles Edgeworth, Gregory's son. Well, I never. It's a pleasure to meet you, Milesy Smiles. If you must address me by my given name, just Miles will do. Ooh, Greggy Pegleg's boy and all grown up too. Make me feel my age, why don't you? I wonder just how old she is. You and your dad both. Eustace, I believe we have some questions for our pharmacist. Oh yes! What brings you to the gallery today, Miss Scone? Why, I came to see dear old Moody Judy, of course. We've been fast friends for 18 long years and no one's going to stop me visiting her now. I understand that you helped look after Mr. Gusto in the immediate aftermath of the attack. Oh, I didn't do much really, just whipped up a quick antidote for the dear old doctor. Wow, you can make an antidote just like that. Oh yes, dear. As long as I have the right ingredients, I can throw together just about any medicine you like. It certainly helped that the medical room was well equipped, though. We were much better off treating him here than losing vital minutes taking him to a hospital. Anyway, we did what we could. The rest, well, that's up to him. And do you know the victim, Miss Delicious? Oh yes, well, sort of. It's been 18 years since I last saw him. Apparently, he's famous these days. One of the best confectioners in the world, or so they say. Interesting! So he's a well-known public figure. Oh, yes, dear. He was on the news and everything. Confectionery crafting king of the world, they say. Wow, so the old dog really went to Zeng far and upped his game, just like he said he would. Perhaps if we could proceed to the matter at hand. Miss Scone, are you familiar with a substance known as infesticized ultra? Of course, dear. You use it to get rid of you-know-whats. Oh, it's awfully strong, though. That's why they don't sell it in the shops. Might I ask what you mean by you-know-whats? The little blighters that frighten the life out of poor innocent ladies like yours truly, that's what. Ghastly little creatures running around people's nice clean kitchens and terrorizing them. Oh, I get it. Those. Thank you, Miss Scone. One more question, if you don't mind. Are you aware of what happens when the chemicals asphyxion and ubiquium are combined? Oh, yes? It's right there in the Infesticide Ultra instructions. Do not mix with products containing ubiquium. Ever. Because if you do, they react with each other and make a horrible poisonous gas. What was it again? Effects of inhalation include respiratory complications and... well, death. That poor old Gusty very nearly didn't make it. To make that much gas, you'd need, probably 500 milliliters of each chemical, I'd say. She certainly talks like a skilled pharmacist. Ubiquium's awfully thick and sticky, and it heats up very quickly indeed. It's also bright red and smells minty fresh. Oh, and cheap as chips. That's why they use it in everything. Asphyxion's more watery and it's white in color. That will do. Thank you. You are clearly well informed, Miss Scone. As well I should be, dearie. After all, Infesticide Ultra is made by the company I work for. Oh, but before you get the wrong idea, they don't go around handing out free samples. As I say, it's awfully terribly dangerous. You couldn't buy it even if you wanted to. Yes, Miss Scone. Very interesting indeed. I think that tells us all we need to know. Strange. I thought she suspected Miss Scone. But something in that smile makes me wonder if she has some other angle in mind. What is it, Detective Flatfoot? Any developments to report?
Yes, sir. Turns out the sculpture's glass display case is open from the top.
That's rather unusual.
And the temperature inside can be adjusted too, all the way down to 0 degrees. The Pisces case was kept at 26 degrees. Down here, got my hand stuck to it.
We're lucky you escaped alive. Anything more relevant to the case?
Yeah, they found something on the underside of the top part of the Pisces case. Traces of ubiquium.
Oh, now we're talking. That's odd. If there was ubiquium stuck to it, it should have stayed stuck. After all, at 26 degrees, it would have been frozen solid. It would, huh? So, how did things wind up as they are now? I think Kay might be able to help us figure out just that. Or at least, Mr. Thief might. Heh, you guys that desperate to get my good side, huh? Fine! I don't know what the heck you're talking about, but take it away! Can't believe I'm taking orders from this guy. But whatever. Anything for the truth.
Overruled.
Before you get too carried away, the goddess of justice has no need of your help. We will find the truth ourselves.
Youch, why so frosty, Judge G? Your baby prosecutor just gave us the big thumbs up. What's the issue here? Oh, wait. Don't tell me the committee is some dirty little secret it doesn't want us finding out.
I am not required to explain myself to you. But if you feel that you absolutely must participate in the investigation, perhaps you can prove to me that it would be worth our while to keep you around.
What exactly does she have in mind here?
Who triggered the release of the poison gas? If you can answer this question, I will consent to your participation in the investigation.
Yeah, the lady Miles? Somebody opened the Pisces case and let out that gas. Considering what we've learned so far, there's only one person it could possibly be, no?
Yes, the answer is indisputable.
It was Larry Butts. Because it smelled.
In that case, please kindly provide it now. Who released the poison gas?
I mean, the person who was in the room?
Take that!
The victim, Carmelo Gusto, is the only person to have entered the Autumn Wing. Thus, only he could have opened the case.
Correct. That appears to be the only logical answer. Very well, I will permit your participation in this investigation to continue. However, if at any point I feel you are contributing nothing of value, you will be removed immediately.
Understood. Even if Mr. Gusto did open the case, we still have no idea why.
Alright, Mr. Edgeworth, tell me what you want to see.
Let's use the data we've collected to recreate the scene before the poison gas went off.
On it.
Ah! Don't scare me like that!
So this is what you were talking about.
You're Mr. Thief! Wrong voice, wrong person. Let's begin by examining the Pisces sculpture. She's facing the other way, that's my defense. There's a generous amount of ubiquium frozen to the underside of the top part of the case.
Yeah, which is what's keeping that lid on real tight.
The actual glass lid is all cracked though, right? Somebody really went to town your little house there, eh, Pisces?
And do we have any idea of how the glass lid might have come to be so cracked?
Well, it doesn't look like the outer-facing side of the glass suffered any damage.
I see. So we have a cracked piece of glass that we know was ice cold on its inner-facing side. And we also know that it wasn't damaged in any direct way on its outer-facing surface. Thoughts?
Ice cold. Makes me think of the way you glare at people, sir.
Cracks. Made me think about those deeply etched lines on your forehead.
It was cracked by heat expansion. Applying heat to ice-cold glass from the outside will cause it to crack. Well, I appreciate the science lesson, but why is it all heat-cracked in the first place?
Why indeed. The heat-cracked glass lid lined on its underside with frozen ubiquium.
Look like the cat that got the cream, Malzarino. You know what happened, don't you?
I certainly do. And what's more, I know how Mr. Gusto opened the case.
What? But you didn't give me a chance to figure it out first! It would have been quite the wait. Well, don't keep it to yourself, Edgeworth. I want answers! How did Mr. Gusto open the case? Well, again, it's what's in the room at the time. A used blowtorch, possibly used to heat something. Take that! The blowtorch showed signs of having been used recently when it was found here in the autumn wing. I think it's likely that it will be used on the glass lid, causing it to crack. A blowtorch? Who uses a blowtorch to open a glass case?
Oh, I get it. Mr. Gusto was trying to melt the frozen ubiquium so he could open the lid.
Indeed. You beat me to the answer by a second. We'll see who wins in the end.
Don't try and tell us you nearly had it. You didn't have a clue.
Nah, it was Edgeworth making things hard to understand. Okay, would you mind updating the recreation so that Mr. Winner can follow along too?
Sure. Just for him.
All right, here goes. I like that we're a team in trying to bully this guy. We both don't like him. Mr. Gusto was alone in the autumn wing, and while he was in here, he used this blowtorch to melt the frozen ubiquium on the underside of the lid. And? As the ubiquium melted, it mixed with the asphyxion that was already present inside the glass case, thereby producing our poisonous gas. When Mr. Gusto had finally managed to open the lid, he would have released the gas and poisoned himself. He made it as far as the fountain room, where he collapsed. So we opened the case, and out came the gas, huh? It seems we got there in the end. Why the heck a doodle-doo did he want to open the case in the first place? I'm not sure. In fact, we don't even know what his ultimate goal was. I'm thinking he might have come here for the same reason I did. To check out not the autumn wing, but the winter wing. You remember, right? I thought this was where the winter wing was when we first got here.
Caught you out too, did it, my little Eddie Lumpkin? I was ever so confused. What with it being where Chillywink's room was all those years ago. There's even the same little tree in front of the blessed door. Who wouldn't be all at 6s and 7s, eh?
Did everyone involved with the IS-7 incident make the same mistake? I think we need to go and take another look at the winter wing. Time to see how quickly I can convince Mr. Winner, I suppose. Yolika! Ladies and gentlemen, I have the answer! The answer to what exactly? The man was going to end it all! A dramatic exit stage left, sort of artsy-fartsy farewell!
Have you been listening at all this whole time?
At my level, I barely need to listen to a word, and I still understand exactly half of what's going on.
Perhaps I could explain a few of the finer details to you later, Eustace. Winner's prerogative.
Winners? Sure. Thanks, Cavell. Thank you indeed. I find it always best to leave things like child wrangling to a professional.
In the meantime, don't you have something to tell Mr. Edgeworth and his friends?
Oh yes, I totally forgot. What is it now? I took the liberty of investigating our friendly pink pharmacist here. Or rather, I had one of my underlings do it for me.
That's nothing to brag about, you know.
Shut up! Can't you see I'm talking? Anyway, let's put a pin in my suicide theory for now. Yeah. I have something more important to tell you. It was Miss Delicious who set up the poison gas trap.
How could you say that? I was greatly saddened to learn of this, Miss Scone. Your profession is one dedicated to saving lives, and yet you use your expertise to try and take one.
I beg your pudding! How dare you! I did no such thing! Perhaps you could explain, Mr. Winner. You bet I can! Get a load of this! This is Miss Delicious's pharmacist's license. And it says it right here that she's authorized to handle Infesticide Ultra. A product that we have established contains asphyxion, one of the ingredients of our poison gas. Exactly! It's almost impossible for ordinary people to get a hold of that stuff. But Miss Delicious is no ordinary person. She's a card-carrying pharmacist.
I didn't do it. This is all just a terrible misunderstanding.
Objection!
And that's not all. There was a bottle of Infesticide Ultra in the victim's pocket. And what you know, it's covered in your fingerprints. We know that you and Miss Bound took the victim to the medical room. What better moment to slip the bottle into his pocket, huh?
No. There was only one person on the premises licensed to carry Infesticide Ultra, and that was you, Miss Scone. Furthermore, you are acquainted with Miss Bound, the owner of the gallery, meaning you would have had access to the building and ample opportunity to prepare your trap. No, dear, listen, you don't understand. That Infesticide Ultra was stolen from me. Lying will only lengthen your sentence, Miss Scone. I'm not lying. Oh, it's in my bag somewhere, I'm sure of it.
What is she looking for?
That's not it. And that's not it.
That cloth looks familiar.
Ah, here we go. I knew it was in here somewhere. Look.
And what is this? There's something written on it, I think. April 1st. Complaint filed. Offense theft. Item stolen. Infesticide Ultra. 1 bottle. It's a crime report relating to a theft. Hey, what?
See you silly billies. I told you somebody pinched it off me. A week ago, no less. By which you mean to say that it was not in your possession at any point today? That's exactly what I mean to say. I think the bottle you found might be the one I lost. I always have some in my medicine bag, just in case, you know. And I'm supposed to keep my bag locked up tight, but, well, I'd forget my head if it wasn't screwed on. And now, thanks to silly old me, someone's gone and mixed up a cloud of poison gas with the stuff.
I see. But why on earth would you carry such a hazardous substance around with you?
Like I said, just in case. You never know when one of them might appear. You mean the gassy little creatures that run around in people's nice clean kitchens type of them? You could just roll up a newspaper and whack, one and done.
Psst. Gavel, what do I do now?
Ah, of course. I think perhaps it might be wise to confirm the authenticity of the crime report, just to be safe. It can't hurt to verify Miss Scone's story, after all. She may be lying to us.
Good idea! All right, I'm gonna go give the precinct a call. Don't go anywhere.
So Miss Scone might not be guilty after all.
Indeed, if she really were the one who set up the poison gas trap, then I highly doubt she would have used a method that directly implicates her. I like in the last sentence when Winner went, he took an L with him, if you get what I mean. If you were paying attention to the written dialogue. So, who do you think did it, Smiles? Someone with knowledge of the victim's likely behavior, and the time and the means to prepare. 2 factors which point to one very specific person. Oh yeah? And who might that be? Don't leave us hanging, big guy. Who had the means to steal the Infesticide Ultra and dress one room up to look like another? Well, the person who's literally running the place. Current owner of the Zodiac Cool Art Gallery.
Take that!
Surely only Miss Bound, the proprietor of these premises, could possibly have prepared in such a way. We'll need some solid evidence to support such a theory nonetheless. So it was her, huh? Strange. It's like he already knew. Phew. Nice shooting, Miles Marino. I might have to make that associate position a permanent deal. That is not what I was hoping for. Ahem! I'm back with results! Anurel. The police have confirmed that the theft really was reported and logged. Which means we may have been a little hasty with some of our conclusions, team. You mean that every single one of your conclusions proved to be hogwash? No! I mean, we're only just getting started. Oh, then what's our next move? Well, first we need to go and talk to Miss Bound. And then I'll think about what to do after that.
Eustace? Mr. Gusto's real destination appears to have been the Winter Wing. Perhaps it would be worth having someone investigate that room more thoroughly.
Oh yes, we should totally do that. Flatfoot, go investigate the Winter Wing. Yes, sir. Gavel, are we going to talk to Miss Bound?
Very good, Eustace.
We'll join you if you don't mind. Yes. I'm playing a more peed off Edgeworth today. He's more done with this crap than ever before. Just because of those two up front. Alright, you have your orders. Go talk to Bound for me.
Hey, Mr. Winner, weren't we going to talk with Miss Bound ourselves?
Sure, but I thought why not let the grunts handle the grunt work, you know? Means I could just sit back and wait for their report. A winning strategy. You spoiled little.
He's so exhausting. I need a break. There's something in the fountain.
It's a body! What on earth?
Order in the court! Somebody called forensics!
Bad news, sir! Real bad news!
Order! I will have order, detective!
The ice sculptures in the winter wing! They've all melted! What? Huh? Say! Good job, Eustace. What is the meaning of this?
Now we have 2 victims!
Yeesh, talk about deja vu. It's just like 18 years ago. Even the ice has melted again.
Again?
This is like some weird rerun. Same people, same everything. I said it before and I'll say it again. This is no coinkydink. You're with me, right, Malzarino? I am. And I think the answers lie in the IS-7 incident itself. In fact, I'm convinced of it. Great minds think alike. Alrighty then. Time for another trip down memory lane. Oh. You can't to be continued 20 minutes later after a last to be continued. That's not how this works. I still can't believe the IS-7 incident was Gregory's last case, although it's been 18 long years since. A murder at a confectionery contest, and of one of the participants no less, Artie Frost. They pulled his body out of a treasure chest that was a part of Samson Tangaro's chocolate tableau. He'd been hit in the head with a large rock salt lamp and subsequently bled to death. We found the lamp hidden inside the candy castle Delisha Scone had made for the contest. But then, before anyone had the chance to investigate Mr. Frost's own room, all of his icy creations had melted clean away. Back to 18 years prior. All of Mr. Frost's work destroyed. Mr. Von Karma wasn't very happy. He told us to get out, and in no uncertain terms. So what do we do now, Mr. E? I can't believe he just up and kicked us out. Von Karma's a total jerk. No, Eddie. It was always the job of the police and the prosecutor's office to investigate the scene. Yeah, but he didn't have to talk to us like that. Who cares if we're cops or attorneys? We should all be working together to find the truth. You can't assume that everybody's aims are the same as your own. You may wish to expose the truth, but others might prefer to accept things at face value. Which way of thinking is right will depend on the person. What if somebody innocent ends up behind bars because no one managed to uncover the truth? It can happen. We're all human, police and prosecutors included. Which is why defense attorneys exist. Our job is to help people in just such situations, to be friends to the friendless. Friends to the friendless. Now, we may not be able to investigate the Winter Wing as hoped, but that doesn't mean we give up. You're right, Mr. E. I'm sorry, I should have thought more before I opened my big mouth. You're young, Eddie. You'll learn soon enough. I will, I promise.
Mr. Edgeworth, Mr. Fender, you look like you could use a little pick-me-up. I'm afraid this is all I have, but please, by all means.
Whoa, you're the best, Miss Bound. Chocolates have been added to the court record. Handmade by Bound, rather misshapen and incredibly sweet. Thank you. A little sugar boost might actually help, although these are a little too sweet for my liking. And a little uniquely shaped. I'm sorry if they're not to your taste. No way, they're great! They're so sweet! You're very kind. Imagine me, of all people, a mediocre confectioner. What? You mean you made these yourself? Yes, Samson loves chocolate, so I had to learn. Keeping him supplied with his favorite treats is just one of my many duties. Although he does spend most of the time coaching me on how to improve my technique. Mr. Tangaroa sure is a lucky guy. Getting to eat homemade sweets made by the one and only Judy Bound whenever he wants sounds amazing. Oh, I'm sorry, did you say something? Nope, nothing at all. Dear, sweet Eddie, you really do still have a lot to learn. It seems you're quite committed to the work you do for Mr. Tangaroa, Miss Bound. Of course, what right would I have to stay here otherwise? What do you mean by that? I was abandoned as a baby, and Mr. Tangaroa took me in. That's right. One snowy Christmas Eve many years ago, he found me on the steps of this very mansion. He saved my life and became the father I never had. I can never repay him. So my work for him is the least I can do, and I'll be here for him as long as he needs me. That's the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. I must be getting old. I'm welling up a little myself. And to think today is Christmas Eve. And I can't even give him his present in person. I'd do anything to save him. Anything! Please, if there's something I can do to help, just say it. We're very grateful, Miss Bound. Perhaps you could help us by answering a question. Did you know the victim? Not very well, I'm afraid. Oh, but if you wanted to see some of his work, I have a picture of the sculptures he made for the final. My, they're stunning. Aren't they? I think they're masterpieces. Who would have thought you could make such intricate statues out of flavored ice? Samson adored them too. Oh hey, that's Taurus and Gemini, right? I didn't know you were keen on constellations and the zodiac, Eddie. Oh, I love it. Stories those stars can tell. Take Gemini, for example. See the lyre? That's what the harp is called. And the arrow and the... Hold up. The lyre doesn't have any strings. Did Mr. Frost forget to add them, maybe? That doesn't sound like something he'd forget to do. Wait, really? But I thought you just said you didn't know him very well. Oh, well, he didn't seem like the type. It seems she's got something to hide too. You took this photograph yourself, Miss Bound. Yes, I use this instant camera here. It develops the pictures as soon as you take them. It's so useful. Oh, I'd love to see it in action. Then why didn't I take your picture? Yes! Come on, Mr. E. Let's get a shot of the both of us. Well, alright then. It would be a shame to waste a good hair day. Ready? Say cheese! There, all done. And the picture's yours to keep, Mr. Fender. Oh my gosh, thank you so much! That's such a cool camera. Well, it's the only one we've got, so we use it for all our picture-taking needs. It's very convenient, but the lack of negatives is something of a shame. So there aren't any negatives for us to reference, huh? I assume Mr. Tangaroa used the same camera during the contest. Yes, you assume correctly. He used it for some work-in-progress pictures of his seascape, and later to take some photos of the other contestants' works. But didn't you take a picture of the body when you discovered it? And didn't you discover the body while the judging was still underway? Ah yes, Samson wanted pictures of all the entrance completed rooms. But the film ran out just as he finished photographing Mr. Gusto's work. So we asked me to go put in a new cartridge. He seemed to think there should have been more shots left than there were. In other words, the film ran out sooner than expected. Yes, the number of shots he took didn't line up with the number of shots remaining. But he thought maybe he just lost track somewhere along the way. But how do you really, though? I went to our living area to change the film and was passing through the fountain room on my way back, when I heard the sound of something break and collapse in Samson's room.
Samson, are you in here? Ah! Mr. Frost's body was just lying there. I was in total shock. It was all too much. I remember, I called the police and then I went to tell everybody else. And the camera, it's been with me ever since.
I see. I'd be grateful if you could lend us the camera in this picture, Miss Bound.
Of course, here you go.
Thank you. Instant camera takes photos that develop instantly, and new film cartridge has 20 exposures, but there are only 3 remaining. Also the photo of Mr. Frost's room. And a photo of us. Detective Bad, Miss Scone, are they done investigating?
They're done with me, that's for certain. The big meanie told me to clear off. Honestly, that mannequins will be the end of me. The cheek of him.
I guess he got tired of people cluttering up his crime scene. Did he run you off too, Detective Bad? Yeah, Von Karma seems to think I'm a nuisance. Can't do things his way of me around. Why would Mr. Von Karma go so far as to exclude his own lead detective? Still, got a pretty good look at the scene. As for Gusto, he's enjoying a nice little chat right now in Frost's room.
What about?
About the fact that Miss Bound says she saw him going in there during the contest. Mr. Gusto went into Mr. Frost's room.
That's right, and I have to say, he looks very much like he didn't want to be seen. I don't know what he could have been up to.
Well, he's candidate number 1 at the moment, as the guy who melted Frost's work. But is that really why Mr. Gusto went into Mr. Frost's room? Got a photo of the room right here. If you need it, it's all yours. Wait, what? Why would you just give it to us? Do I gotta spell it out for you, kid? I'm offering to help you guys. I want the truth about this case to come out. Detective? Really, Detective Bad? Mr. Von Karma won't be happy about this. Yeah, well, I'm not Von Karma's stooge. If he's gonna stonewall my investigation, then I'm not gonna play by the book either. Can't let some pesky rules keep me from finding the truth. Now, can I... Mr. Edgeworth? Indeed. Thank you, Detective Bad.
Wow, I can't believe you won him over, Mr. E. Well, I haven't the foggiest what you're all going on about, but here's the new friends, eh?
It's definitely nice to have the good detective on our side, that's for sure. Alright, let's take a look at that photograph. Here. This is what Frost's room looks like right now.
It's kind of deja vu. Well, it's not that we didn't see this that long ago anyway.
But now that we're back in the past, what will we find that matches up with the present? It's going to be weird because we're going to be like weirdly player knowledge better than seeing things visually than what Miles actually managed to see. It's going to be really interesting how the 2 time zones play into each other. Are we solving the case in the past by solving it in the future? Most likely. But it's the case in the future that's racking up body count at this point. Do we have time to be spending around talking about the past? It's the only way to solve it, isn't it? So, we're going to end our episode here. Join me next time on Ace Investigations 2 Prosecutors Gambit, where we continue on with our 3rd case. And I will see you guys next time for more. Until then, I say, bye-bye.